Hi, I'm Natalie Tabibian. I'm a senior at Milken, and I'm also co-editor-in-chief of the Milken Roar, which is our school's newspaper.
And
Go
also
ahead.
one of my former middle school math students, so it's exciting to be here with you now as a senior.
And I'm Lisa Acker. I am the new head of student services at Milken, just started here this year.
Hi, I'm Dimitri Hodgkinson. I am the 6th through 12th grade instructional leader for our physical education, health, and wellness program at Milken.
Just to get started, questions for both of you. So just tell me, so Ms. Acker, you mentioned that you're the head of student services, and this is your first year here, but what do you think has made this year different in terms of dealing with these new realities we have and being online?
Oh my goodness. So everything is flipped. And I think that I like to say that the word pivot has become really popular. And to me, I've decided that pivot just means take everything out you've ever done before, throw it away, and start completely over.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a strange year. I'm in my 12th year at Milken. And so, one of the things that's awesome is being on campus with our students, with our colleagues, and just having kind of the normal flow of a school day. It's definitely challenging, right now, keeping a consistently positive outlook can be something that's a little bit challenging, I think, for everyone. I think, but I'm actually kind of excited to share, some of the things that the students and faculty are doing that have really, I think, been uplifting. And there are a lot of great things. And I think in the pandemic, it's easy to get caught up in the things we don't like about it, but there's also, I think, a lot of positives that are coming out of it.
Where do you think students right now are struggling, and where are they overcoming those struggles, and how are they doing that?
One of the things that's interesting is we don't have in our history anything like COVID to compare this to, but we do have natural disasters. So some of what I know I've been looking into and looking at responses for is how do people respond after a natural disaster? When everything changes, when the landscape changes, when routines change, when people lack human connection, when the environment completely flips, and how do we respond to that? And that's kind of where we need to look, because we don't have anything similar to this exactly to look at. And what it tells us is that people do need to take good care of their mental health, and they do need to make the connections whenever they can. When I was asking you earlier, what are you doing to keep yourself positive? And you're saying that what helps you to stay positive is to make those connections. You have to do them differently, but making sure that you have them. So our teachers have had to make that switch. It's really incredible what our teachers have done to try to connect with students in a completely different context.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I think, I don't know if everyone realizes how good we have it and how fortunate we are to be at a place where, we are a community school, and the meaning of that is beyond the name. I mean, we really genuinely try to support our community and every member of it. Starting with our students. Our students are our foundation. That's where our primary focus is, as far as, wellness and support and trying to, create programs that are dynamic and meaningful for them. But I mean, as a faculty member, to have a voice, to be respected, to be heard, to have outlets for which I can share openly how I feel about things we need to be, doing to improve, ways that we can make the teacher, experience better, and how we can support our teachers, how we can support our students. And I mean, we have a very receptive team, and I really mean team across the board, and that starts with leadership. We do have an admin that's very open to this type of feedback and does want to do what's best for everyone to the best of their ability. And given, like Lisa mentioned, some of the challenges with some of the restrictions around social distancing and things like that.
How would you say that either of your work contributes to the general mission of Milken?
Yeah, I can jump in here. Our mission and core values as a school actually do mean something to our students and faculty and families. We talk about things like, serving others and serving others with dignity and kindness, social justice, RAVUT, pursuing academic excellence, building, welcoming, joyful communities. I mean, these are all, core values that we hold dear, but I think we do it every single day. And we do it whether it's in the classroom, whether it's in a counseling session, whether it's in, colleagues meeting to discuss how we're going to, implement programming or support students. These things are done all the time in pretty much everything we do, and how things even down to the email. Being a sports guy, being a coach, coming up with these sort of like themes is it's something we do, right? And so it's one thing to have a theme. It's another thing to actually really truly believe it, really truly try to use that as a compass in what you're trying to do. And one of the things I try to impart with my team is I say, look, if we've made an impact on one student with what we're doing, if we can get one student to think more deeply, we've done something that's not just going to impact that one human being, but they're actually going to have a ripple effect, because that current middle school student is going to become an adult who now values these things, and they're going to be a human being who now impacts someone positively in their family. And they're going to be someone who's probably going to have kids down the line, and they're going to raise their kids with these values. And I think it's really important to remember that every little, impact that we make is an opportunity to really help students surpass us. I mean, Natalie, just looking at you, and knowing, who you were as a seventh grader, and seeing this graceful, intelligent, phenomenal young lady who's now, moving into adulthood and, moving on to pursue your passions beyond Milken. I hope that, in your life that you're, a better quality of human and live a higher quality of life than I do, and than our faculty members do, and that you're able to impact your family in that very way. I think I can say this proudly, but our students are going to go on to surpass us. Our students are going to go on to make a big difference in the world, and raise families that are going to make an impact. And if we've done anything to help that process, then, we've done something we can all really be proud of.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say that when the first day that I came to Milken was the first day of COVID. So Dr. Shulkin and Ms. Dankner and Rabbi BK are the people that I met. And I flew in from the East Coast, and I met these three people, didn't know anything about Milken. And what I decided before I left was that we had the same values. And the values of begin with the end in mind, meaning we want our students to surpass us. We want our students to be this kind of student by the time they graduate, and we want them to know these things to take with them, was very apparent in the entire conversation. So I went from a school that I had no association with, in a state, in a side of the country that I had never lived in, and knew that this was going to be the place for me because we had the same values. And when we have our leadership meetings, and when we have our education meetings and our operational leadership meetings, all of them begin with the values. So it's not just a value on the paper that we're then saying, oh, what was that value again? You could hear Dimitri, he just listed them casually in his conversation, because it's really part of who he is as a teacher and what he brings to Milken. So beginning with the end in mind, I think having a student that leaves with these values, and that we've taught these instrumental learning values to, is important. And we've done that. So that's our goal, and everyone has the same goal at Milken. And that's really, really important.